welcome back to Adobe Live, live from the off, live and on site with OK Motion. Linda and Amanda are here with us, and we have the lovely Sandra Butt here joining us for the portfolio review. Who's excited?
We're
very much.
It's very good to hear, because I got a first look at the portfolio already, and we can't wait to have a close look. Hello to everyone on the chat too. It's so great to have you join us here. Oh my God, the day is already too long. In case you have questions, let us know in the chat. Let us know what you think about Sandra's work, because it's a portfolio review, and the more opinions we can get, the better, right?
Yeah.
So give us all your questions and we will answer them. I will forward them right to Amanda, Linda, and Sandra. So should we start with the portfolio? Do you want to give us a little introduction of who you are, how you got here, and how life is for you?
Okay, I'm Sandra. I'm from Leipzig, Germany, and I'm a motion designer, mostly working doing illustrations and animations for explainers, but also experimenting a lot in this field. Just recently I started experimenting a little bit with augmented reality.
Oh, nice.
And I just like to try a lot of stuff and just to see where I can go. And my studio is under the name of Barbar Studio, and I really like that name because it has a potential that I could fill with bold and playful animations, which I try to do. And I would be happy to show you my wheel. It's pretty old, it's 2 years old, and I really want to do a new one. So it would be great to hear from you what I could do better, to define the weak parts. And
yeah, let's do it.
Sounds good.
Can
Well, let's click it. You have it here?
Yeah, so this is my website.
Oh,
I
love
that.
Don't change a thing.
Yeah. I don't know if they put audio on the headphones.
Everything will work. Let's just play it.
Okay.
That
was great. Wow. I love it. Yeah.
Very nice transitions.
Yeah.
I love the colors. Your work is so bright. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
You do a ton of character animation.
Yeah.
Is that something that is it something that you do personally, or are they client projects they reach out to you looking for it, or do you just enjoy doing character illustrations for your own personal work?
I think I always like to go with characters if I can, because I like to have it humorous.
Yeah.
And that's why I always try to have someone
human
speaking to the audience.
Is the audio track that's on there, is that a stock, or did you work with a sound designer or something on it?
It's actually my boyfriend who wants to get started in sound design, and he tried with the drums to play along my wheel. So it was a nice collaboration that I finished almost editing, and then he played over it. So it was
that's awesome.
a little ping pong.
It's always so great when you have connections where you can just collaborate with someone and you can actually get the result that you want, rather than having to find some stock thing to fit your project.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it would be really lovely for your next, if you're going to work with your boyfriend again on audio, to try and time some of the transitions to land on the beats of the music. It really makes it feel like this piece of music was very intentionally made for this reel.
Yeah.
And even some of the transitions could happen really quick. You could add in a lot more work if you have it, because I think the viewer only really needs to see only like a second and a half to comprehend what's happening. So some stuff, if you just kind of want to like squeeze some more work in, you can have things happen very quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But love it so much. Really want to dive deeper into some of your work. If you would love to take us through it.
Yeah, sure.
There's a bit of feedback from the chat. Stuart, for example, says it looks perfect to me. Stuart, you're right. It's pretty close to perfect.
Yeah.
We had some input already, but I think from a visual perspective, that was really cool.
I know.
It was great.
Yeah. I totally get a sense of like the type of work that you enjoy doing and that you're really good at. I guess for us, it'd be more of if you're wondering like what to put in the portfolio, is there a certain type of work that you haven't done yet that you're looking to do? Or because that's really how clients approach us for work, is what they see is exactly what they know to come to us for. So is there something that you're looking to explore more?
Yeah. Actually, I explored a little bit of 3D last year, which I liked really much. It's inspired by Luca Sanotto. He did a course on motion design school, and I just took the knowledge from the course to make my own characters.
I love it.
And
That's
just,
so cool.
Yeah, try to learn offsetting and easing with these.
Yeah.
It was my first experience with Cinema 4D as well.
Yeah, so you could totally add some light like 3D elements in your next reel to kind of check that box for people. But obviously like, put in stuff that you think is really fun. Like I think this is great.
Yeah, I love how playful your work is.
You know, it would be really cool if you almost did like a transition, because you have the 2D version and the 3D of like a match cut of kind of going between 2D and 3D, showing that you can work in both mediums with the same concept.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So it's really nice to see that you move your work from the 2D field to the 3D one. And I see that's a common pattern here. A lot of people try to do that and try to explore the 3D room. Again, maybe you should hop over to the booth then for Adobe Substance. So let's have another look at a second project you have there. I really like the overview on Behance because it immediately gives you a sense for the style.
Yeah.
And color palette
color,
too. It seems that you definitely gravitate towards the blue and pink hues.
Yes.
We find ourselves doing the same thing, like on our Instagram feed. We're like, oh, we use this color palette a lot. I can't get away from it. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it just shows like what you're into.
Yeah. So you meant the second project, or should I just
any
any
one that you want to dive into?
Actually, I really like to show this one because it's my first editorial illustration, and they asked me to do an infographic, and I was like, oh, I wanted to illustrate a text and make a really surreal landscape or something, but they wanted an infographic.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give this a playful approach as well, because I had to illustrate the German health system, and here in the I should only like illustrate doctors, and I wanted to give them a personal note, like this is a dentist, and so that they differ from each other and are just nice to look at, because it's still, although it should be an overview, it's still really complicated, and you think, okay, all these people are have an impact on what you get out of it in the end.
I have to say you did a good job on the infographic because it looks way more simple than it actually is.
Yeah, I was going to say infographics are notoriously hard to do because you're trying to make it look really cool but convey a ton of information. I do find what really works best is like hierarchy of scale and obviously top to bottom as well, of trying to push and pull what's the most important information you want them to take away. So you could try and like push and pull some elements of making things a little larger, or even like picking up, I love all the shapes that you use, the simple shapes for the bodies. You could even like use those as like weird background elements to kind of just try and like continue the theme throughout, or to carry your eye across.
Yeah, cool. I also did some that were accompanying the text. So one about the meals in the hospital.
A sad meal.
Yeah, sad.
These are the characters.
Oh, did you ever animate any of these?
I really wanted them, but I didn't have the
Yeah,
time yet.
these. There's
Like
so much
this-
personality already in them.
This
yeah.
guy with the martini, I feel like
know.
his legs could probably just like bend in
Yeah.
like not a natural way. It would look so fun.
How difficult was it actually to move back into this static workspace? Because you're an animator, you
Yeah.
could show this in a video, and it would probably be even easier to tell a story there. But now you have everything in one viewport, everything is static. Was that difficult?
Actually, not. No, I think my strength is to reduce a lot of information in some shapes, and this is something that an animation can be when you have to tell a story, tell like in an explainer. You have
I was
to
gonna say, you saw
keep
that
it like
you do
Yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
It's
so.
you,
Yeah.
you have to like very quickly kind of get a point across, and that's great that
Yeah,
you're
I feel
able
that
to.
it's similar. Like when you only do an illustration, that it should only it should be readable really fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How many pages were those? Because it's real printed, it's not a mock-up, right?
No, it's really printed. Yeah, it's. I
Very
think
nice.
it's like these. There were some others that I didn't include, but there, it's like 3 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like the setup of the Hold Behance project. It's again a nice story that you tell there, you show all the details. What do you think? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would really love to see one of your character animation projects
Yeah.
if you wanted to
Okay.
dive into one of those. I feel like I've seen all these characters now, and I want to see them
I know.
moving.
I can already like picture some of them moving in my head.
Yeah, like this one down here.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
You've seen a lot of this in the reel already, so I can.
But you can never see it often enough.
Yeah.
You
It's
gave
such
us
a
such a
short
nice
glimpse.
teaser, so we need to see more.
Kit offers new ways to develop the processes and structures in team organization.
Pretty long.
Maybe while this is running, can you walk us through
Yeah.
your process of how do you use Illustrator or Photoshop for your characters?
I mostly use Illustrator, so I start sketching with an iPad and just use Overlord to push it all to
Yeah,
After
We
Effects.
we
Yes.
use Overlord as well.
Sometimes it's I'm really impatient, so sometimes I want to start animating because I want to see if it works, and then I still have to illustrate, to design, and that's a process of back and forth. But I wish I would be more prepared, like just
Yeah.
to finish my illustration work and then go into animation. But
Well,
normally I'm
Sometimes we'll do like an
mixed.
animation test
Yeah.
with the illustration process, so that we can make sure that it works in the animation process, and then dive deeper into illustration.
But also
Yeah.
some things are
Yeah.
easier to build in After Effects rather than Illustrator to like kind of cut down on some of that back and forth workflow, and to, like you said, just kind of go ahead and start getting things moving. You can always like add more things as you go.
Yeah.
But do you use a certain like rigging, like Duik or something for your characters?
I use character tool and sometimes rubber hose.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are great.
Yeah. That's awesome.
How do you figure out what colors to work with? Like which colors work well together?
I think sometimes I'm getting inspired by other people's work, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be that much relying on that because
Totally.
then all the time everything looks the same.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to combine and see what works. So
Yeah.
don't know really have I don't have a way of how
Yeah.
I do this. Sometimes when I get to sleep, I dream about colors. And then I try to sketch it, but I just white, blue, and yellow. And then next morning, I just don't have the picture in mind.
Yeah.
But, sometimes I think, oh, this should be my, how do you say? Where I get these ideas from, they are like intuitive.
Yeah.
That's best, maybe.
Do you ever use like the camera tool in After Effects at all? Because I think everything you have is so lovely, like of a foundation. And if you maybe add some additional like camera movements to kind of like
Yeah.
that one was really great. I think there's a couple of other scenes that are like more static that you don't even really need much animation, but the camera just adds like so much of an extra movement.
Yeah.
Or just even receding stuff in Z space to get a little parallaxing.
Yes, yeah.
It was a tough tool for me to like even wrap my head around. But it's like once you kind of got the basics, it possibilities kind of open up for a lot of really cool transitions.
Yeah, I really have to check that out for future projects a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube and Skillshare and all that are great resources for us.
Or maybe Adobe Live.
Yes.
Because we do also live too, so
maybe
you can
there's somebody else who's
definitely
doing a camera tool.
If it's something you really have to think about, because what happens for me is I get lost in animation so fast, and then the camera tool is at the very end. You know, I'm so into details, and then
Well, the nice thing about working in Illustrator or Vector in general is that as long as you have all of the elements, then you can literally move in or scale or do whatever you want. But when we work in Photoshop, that's where we had to do a lot more pre-planning of how everything's actually going to play out, because if you don't make it big enough, you're going to have to redraw it again. So it's great that, I mean, you already work in such a versatile medium that you truly could just start working, and then if you decide you change your mind, like something else is working better, you can shift.
Yeah.
Let's look at some other stuff.
I'd really like to show you this because it's character animation. It's for an app. There, I was asked to illustrate symptoms of common child diseases. So I made these in Lottie so that they are visible in the app. And there are some restrictions with Lottie. You can't do anything. But I really like this challenge to see how I can animate things really easily. So like the one with the rash, it's like only appearing red circles. But I also like the challenge of having one eating, and it's all character based, so that you can look at your child and then look at the symptoms and see if it's like this for example, constipation.
These are great. I mean, we recently just did like a project with a ton of Lottie GIFs, and it is very limiting, which sucks because you have these like great ideas for what you want to put together, but then you can't do a lot of masking and things. So I think you kind of overcame a lot of the limitations there, and these are adorable.
But the illustrations look very organic, considering that it's just vectors. It looks really organic, in my opinion.
Yeah, was this the color palette that they had chosen, the client, or?
Actually, before that project, I did an explainer for them, and we decided on these colors, and the explainer was finished, and then they said, okay, now we want these app illustrations, and I was like, okay, it's I would have chosen another style maybe if I would have known this before, because for these little like symbols, icons, it's
very different
for
mobile.
Different, But I think it worked out in the end, but I was not really super happy with the purple as a color, like this blue skin tone, because it's such an artificial color. But in the app animations, there should be something like blood, and it should be readable, like it should be seen as blood. So this was a real color, whereas this is like artificial. So it was a little challenge to work it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still think they turned out great.
Yeah. It's a hard subject to convey as well, so you did a great job with it.
Yeah, it's funny because some clients really want to show, like they want it to look as realistic as possible, and other clients, because I've done some stuff in medical related things as well, they're like, well, we don't want it to be too scary or too real. So then, you kind of have to come up with solutions like that of maybe changing the color of things or simplifying it as much as possible. Cute.
Sandra, you mentioned that you were also doing stuff in AR.
Yeah.
What did you? We just have about 5 minutes left, but what did you do? I'm really excited to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I don't have it uploaded yet because it just finished in time. I did these business cards with an
These are great.
QR code
Ooh, yeah.
that you can scan and then it's moving.
Very nice. I definitely need to see that. Can I have one?
Yeah,
Yes,
could
sure.
I have one
Yeah.
as well? This is adorable.
Yeah.
I know, I love this.
So what happens when people have a look at that? They would see something that pops out, or do I
Yeah.
have to put it like that and then this one pops
Yeah, you
out?
with the QR code you are loading the artwork. So when you then put your camera, like this app
Yeah.
camera above the artwork, then it jumps and it's a different character, like it
Oh,
morphs
cool.
into
Very
two
nice.
different
That's
characters.
so smart.
It's such a nice idea to
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah, I thought when I want to present myself with a business card, it should be presenting what I'm doing.
Yeah,
and
what you're
I
best
can't
at.
do an animation on a business card, but with AR I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
I know.
Yeah.
I wish we could share it with everybody.
Maybe something for social media.
Yes,
Maybe that's something you should upload on your
Yeah.
Behance or
it's visible on
Instagram?
my Instagram. So if anyone starts to follow me, you can see it.
We're
Very
definitely going
nice.
to check
Yeah.
it out.
definitely have a look at Sandra's portfolio. And have a look at Sandra's Behance profile. Got a bit thrown off now. Can't wait to see that. Do you have any last questions since we're here in this nice situation and you can ask anything you'd like to ask?
But there are not many minutes left. I think I have to work on my presentation of the projects. I always want to have more case studies.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you, but we get the chance to show this one
Oh,
live
yeah.
in the chat. So
Oh, cool.
let's move this one away.
But
Or do we need to do the QR
app
code?
Yeah,
for this? Actually,
that's okay. People will figure out.
I think
Do they?
we probably need to put in the.
Oh, thank you. That's a very nice idea.
I wonder
to
if we
see
need to
both.
hold it up for them to try and scan.
Oh,
but
That's
you
I
need
see.
Yeah, we get thumbs up. That means it's perfect the way it is.
Oh,
Did that work?
I can't see it on screen. Yes, yes, yes. The team looks very happy, so I'm sure it did work. Thank you so much for the spontaneous insight. So I interrupted you with your question. I'm really, really sorry, but maybe we have some 5 minutes after this stream to get into details.
oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We'd love to
Yeah?
keep chatting.
Yeah, thank you.
For anyone who now was very interested in that question, I'm really sorry, but there is Instagram, there is Behance, and the chat on Adobe Live. So just ask us, and hopefully you stick around for more interviews with more guests and more portfolio reviews tomorrow. Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Linda and Amanda. You were great, and it was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank